Okay, today we're looking at data analysis, which is our last of the topics that's going to be in our exam. The things that we need to know for this topic are mean, mode, median, range, what happens when you have outliers, how to make an FX column and how to use it, categorical data, finding numbers from means, and worded problems. So, does anyone remember mean?
Miss, I know.
Hannah.
Yeah, what's supposed to be like?
Awesome. It's finding the average.
Does average mean the middle number?
Nope. Middle is median. So if I've got the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 1. So here I have the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, and 3. What I have to do is I add them all up. So I add, and then divide by how many numbers there are. So what you do to calculate the average is you add all the scores up and then you divide by how many scores there are. So for example, if I've got 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 3 is 10. And how many scores do I have? How many all up do I have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, cool, so I divide by 5. So, how many 5s fit into 10? 2. So, my average, or my mean, is 2. What about mode? Does anyone know what mode is?
The number that occurs the most.
Awesome. Great, so if I've got these numbers again, you know what, let me change it. 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, and 5. Which one is my most occurring?
3.
Yeah, cool. Because 3 happens 3 times, so 3 is my most occurring. Great, what about median?
The
Yes.
middle school level.
Awesome. So if I've got the numbers 4, 3, 1, 9, 6, what do I have to do first to those numbers before I can find the median? Yes. Awesome. So I have to take them from there and then put them in order. So 1, 3, 4, 6, 9. So I've taken our jumbled up numbers and I've put them in order from smallest to largest. And now what do I do? Yes. Whose hand went up first? You know, Sandy. Great. And how do I do that?
Miss the middle number. Miss the
Awesome. I'm going to cross one off at the start, cross one off at the end. Cross one off at the start, one at the end. Whatever's left in the middle is my median. What happens if I've got 2 numbers in the middle?
You
Add them and divide by 2. So let's do one of those. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Alright, I'm going to count in. So now I've got these 2 left in the middle. So in order to do that, I really need one whiteboard space, but I go 2 plus 3, divide by 2, gives me 2.5. Does anyone know what range is? Someone who hasn't answered the question yet. One of the ladies from over here, what's range? Yes. Awesome. Highest minus lowest. So, for example, if I had the numbers, I don't know, 1, 1, 4, 7, and 9, I would just go 9 minus 1, which gives me 8. Cool. Any questions about that? No? A lot of your exam, this section of the exam, you are allowed to use a calculator. So you're not going to have to do mean and all that in your head, which is good. but you will be given lots of sets of data most likely, and you'll have to calculate these 4 things from there. So the way to remember the difference is if I call you average, that's pretty mean. That's the way that I remember it. It's stupid, but that's how I remember it. So mode, M-O, is most, so M-O-S-T and M-O-D-E, they both have M-O at the start, so mode is most. Median, when you're driving a car down a street, the street that's in the middle of the road is called the median street. It's in the middle of the road because it's the median. Median is the middle number, the middle of the road is median. Anyway, that's how I remember that. And range, I don't have a trick for that one, it's just highest minus lowest. All right, now I want to talk to you about what happens when you throw in outliers. But first, before we do that, let's do a bit of practice on what we just looked at. So let's calculate the mean of these numbers, the mode of these numbers, the median, and then the range of the numbers that are here. So first up, how do I find what the mean is for these numbers? What do I have to do? Yes. Awesome, I add them up. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, pretty easy, that's 0. So what's 1 plus 1? 2 plus 1? Plus 2? 5. Plus 2? 7. Plus 3? 10. Okay, so it's 10. And how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so how many 10s fit in 10? Great, so 1 is the average. So imagine these were, say I came around and asked you how many pets do you own, for example. This might be my data. And so the average of that information is the average of 1. Most people, the average would be 1. Okay, what about mode? Which is the most occurring score?
2.
I have 2 2s. Yes.
0.
0, great, because there are 4 zeros. So the most occurring is 0. What would be the median? How do I find the median? Does anyone remember? I cross one at the start, one at the end. I'm not actually going to do that because I need to reuse them. So I'm just going to count inwards with my fingers. Okay, now how do I find, what do I do here if I've got 2 in the middle? Add them together, divide by 2. So 1 plus 1 is 2, divided by 2. My median becomes 1. Oops, wrong texter. 1. Alright, what about my range? What's my range going to be here? Yes. Great. So 3 minus 0 gives me 3. Great. There's no outliers here. All of these numbers are pretty close together. There's no absurd numbers. But if I change this 0 to, say, a 30, say I interviewed everyone and said, how many pets do you have? And most people, they'll say 0, or they'll say 1, or they'll say 2. But one person goes, oh, I've got 30 fish. I have to put that 30 in there. But it doesn't really fit, does it? It's like a really unexpected, far out answer. And I want to find out what this outlier will do to my scores. So I want to compare. So they're the ones without an outlier, these are the ones with an outlier. Alright, so now I want to calculate the mean again, but with my new set of information. So let me change colours, let's do this in purple. Alright, now I want to calculate the mean. So what do I do again to find out the mean? Yes? Add them all up. So 30 plus 1 gives me 31. Plus 1?
32.
Plus 1?
33.
Plus 2?
35.
Plus 2?
37.
Plus 3. Okay, so now my scores are now 40. And how many scores are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how many 10s go into 40?
4.
onto our mean. What has changed?
Miss, what is the outline?
A score that doesn't fit. It's like a really weird number. All of these are less than, like they're 3 or less, but suddenly we've got a 30. It doesn't fit with the rest of the data. It's like an outcast. It's a weird answer. So my mean went from being 1 to suddenly being 4. Do you feel that 4 is a fair representation of what the average person has 4 pets? Do you think that that's a fair representation of this data? I'm going to say that again for anyone not listening. Do you feel that if I said to you, based on this, if I said, yep, the average person has 4 pets,
Yes.
do you feel that that's true?
No.
No, because besides this 30, none of them have 4 pets. Nobody. Not a single person that I interviewed had 4 pets, except for old mate who's got 30. So it's really changed my data, the results of my mean. Because now, if I use this, it makes it seem like, you know, the everyday person, the majority of us have 4 pets. When in actual fact, it's more like 1. Cool. All right, what about mode? Has our mode changed? Has our most occurring changed? It was 0. What is it now? It's either 0 or it's 1. So 0 and 1, because they're both most occurring. So that's changed a little bit. But what about the median? Has my middle score changed? I have to move this to the end now because they've got to be in order before I start crossing them off. Alright, so I've moved my 30 to the end, so now I can start crossing. So, well, I'm going to count in so I don't ruin my... Still, my median is 1. What about my range? What's my range going to be with this new data? It's going to be 30 minus 0, which is 30. So now, my range has changed significantly. So how do we feel about outliers when it comes to data? What do they do? What does having an outlier in our set of data, what does that do to our results? It rounds them up, or it makes them weird, pretty much. Yeah, it gives us weird answers that may not necessarily represent the way it is. It throws our answers off. All right, now let's look at FX tables or FX columns. So this is a way of writing. This is a way of writing all of our information, and then it can make our life a little bit easier when we have to calculate the mean later on. So, what do you reckon we're going to put in this box? It says score. So what do you reckon that's going to be? If these are my scores up here. You are close. I'm not going to put my tallies in here, but I'm going to put them in here. Or I could put them in there, or I could just write the number. But yes, I like your thinking. But what do you reckon I'm going to put in this score thing here? The numbers themselves. Great. So I've got some 1s. What other numbers do I have for my scores? I've got 1s. What else do I have? 2. Okay. I've got 2s. What else? 3s, and I've got 4s. Fantastic. How many 1s do I have? 4. Great. So I'm going to put that here. How many 2s are there in my scores? How many 3s are there in my score? And how many 4s are there? 1. Now, if this is FX, if this is my F column and this is my X column, what do you reckon I'm going to do with these two numbers? I'm not plussing, I'm multiplying them together. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 4 times 1 is 4. Great. So all I did there was I multiplied across and put my answer in the last box. What do you reckon I'm going to put in the totals boxes down the bottom?
Miss, you're going to add them plus them together.
Great. So I'm going to add 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus, yeah. Great. So my total from this column goes underneath. And what about in this box? What do you reckon is going to go in this box? Awesome. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 12 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22. Well done. Great. So I want to find the mean of all this. All I have to do is take what's in this box and divide it by this box.
Oh, wait.
So you may see this little symbol at some point in your life. It just means sum or total. It's just a lazy way of writing the word total in one symbol. So it's the total of fx. So this box over the total of f, which is this box. Basically, in other words, this divided by so what that's going to be is 22 divided by 10, which will be 2.2. Don't be thrown off by this weird little symbol. It used to stump me sometimes. All it means is total. What kind of data do I have on the board if it's words instead of numbers? Categorical. Awesome. Shh. The data I have on the board is called categorical because it's not, the alternative is numerical. Numerical is numbers. Categorical is categories, as in words. So here I've got a bunch of different words. People voted for different colours. And I want to see if I can calculate the mean, the mode, the median, and the range of these colours. All right. You can't calculate the mean if you've got categorical data because it's not numbers. You can't add them together. You can't add words. You can't divide words. You can't do anything that you can do with numbers. You can't do it with words. So you can't calculate the mean. You can't. You can't do the mean. You can't. You can't add pink plus green. You can't do that. What about mode? Can I find my most occurring? Is it possible to find out which is the most occurring? Yeah, it is. Great, so which one occurred the most? Black occurred the most. Can I arrange them from smallest to largest? No, I can't. And can I subtract the biggest minus the smallest? No, I can't. So when it comes to categorical data, there's only one thing I can do with it. I can only find the mode. That's all I can do. The others, it's not possible because it's not numbers, they're words. So now I'm given 4 scores and I'm missing 1. So I need to try and find what my missing mystery score is, but they tell me that my mean is going to be 3. So I need to find which one is missing. Now, if it weren't missing, my mean would be 3. How might I find what the missing score is? Yes? Sorry? Is it 2? What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to try it and see. So, if I've got 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2, divided by how many scores would there be if I had the missing score? How many are there?
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I add these up and divide by 5, does that give me 3? So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 4 is? 6 plus 4 is? 10. 10 plus 2 is? 12. 12 divided by 5 gives us 12 divided by 5 gives us 2 with the remainder. 2 remainder 2. So it's not 3, so it can't be 2. So we have to keep trying numbers.
5.
You want to try 5? Okay,
Yes.
let's try 5. 1 plus 1 is?
2.
2 plus 4 is?
6.
6 plus 4 is? 10. 10 plus 5 is?
15.
15 divided by 5. How many 5s go into 15? 3. So, is that our missing score?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
See,
5
so smart.
is our missing score. So, I want to find my missing number again. I've got 4 scores, but I'm missing the 5th one. And it tells me that my mean is 13. Okay? So, 10 plus 10 is?
Miss, it's 44. What you get up?
You're actually very close. So 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 12 is
32.
32. 32 plus 13 is
35. No, 45.
45. Okay, so these all add up.
We still have one number.
They add to 45.
Yes.
Alright, so that's just going to save us some time later on. What number might I try here to find out if it gives me a mean of 13? Throw a number at me that we can try.
5.
Okay, you want to try 5? Let's give 5 a try. So 45 plus 5 would give me 50 divided by 5. How many 5s go into 50?
I don't know.
10. So that would give me a mean of 10, not a mean of 13.
Wait, Liz, how much?
So it has to be a number bigger than 5, because my mean is 10, not 13. Yeah. Alright, ladies, give me a number bigger than 5 that we can try.
6.
7. No, miss 10.
You want to try the number 10?
10.
Alright, we'll try 10. Otherwise we'll get an uneven number at the end. Okay. So let's try 10.
Actually, 8.
Okay, so 45 plus 10 would give us 55. There's 5 scores. How many 5s go into 55? 11. Alright, so it's not 10. 10 is too small. Alright. Now, we know...
12.
We need to find a number. It's got to be a multiple of 5. So 5 needs to divide into it evenly because we don't get a decimal.
Stop.
So you want to try 15? Let's give that a go. So 45 plus 15 gives us 60. How many 5s go into 60?
12.
12. We are getting really close. So it's not 15. What could it be if it's a multiple of 5 that's bigger?
20.
Awesome. So it's got to be a multiple of 5 because it's being divided by 5 and it's got no remainders. So let's try 20. So 45 plus 20 gives us 65. How many 5s go into 65? 13. So our missing score is 20.
Can't I just do 13 times 5?
Miss,
Yes,
how do
you
know
could.
that too?
Absolutely, you could.
Miss, how do you know that?
Absolutely, yes. That's really clever, actually.
And you get the answer much faster, right?
Absolutely. Why didn't I think of that? Now we have a worded problem. Our goal is to try and find out what the mean of the original numbers were. So when the number 8 is added to a set of 4 numbers, the mean changes to 9.6. What was the mean of the original set of numbers? So we don't know what the mystery 4 numbers were. So what should I call them? What letters should I give them? Can you give me any letters?
A.
Okay, so one of them can be A,
C. Q.
C, Q, and
R.
R.
S.
All right. So there's 4 mystery numbers, I don't know what they are. And then they said they added 8. Then they calculated the mean. So what they did is they divided it by how many numbers there were. So I've got my 4 mystery ones plus the number 8, so that makes how many? 4 plus 1? 5. And it gives me a mean of 9.6. Now I want to find what the mean was if I take this 8 away. So first I need to find out what these all added up to prior to me dividing it by 5. So what's the opposite of dividing by 5? Timesing by 5. So that's what I'm going to do to this. So that way it'll work it in reverse. So I'm going to go 9.6 times 5, which gives me 48. But you will have a calculator on the day, so don't worry. Okay, so I get 48. So let me rewrite this.
Is it on Monday?
Yeah, this one is on Friday. So now all of these added up give me 48. So if I take 8 away, how many will my 4 mystery numbers add up to?
48.
If I take 8 away.
40.
If I have A plus C plus Q plus R without the 8, what will they add up to?
48.
Okay, so with A plus C plus Q plus R plus 8 gives me 48. If I take 8 away, what are they going to add up to?
40.
Awesome. So I'm taking 8 away, so minus 8 gives me 40. All right. So how many numbers are left if I've taken 8 away? How many mystery numbers do I have? 4. So to calculate the mean, I go the total divided by how many numbers there are. How many 4s go into 40? 10. So my new mean is 10. There we go, that's our worded problem done. Any questions? So when the number 8 is added to a set of 4 numbers, so I don't know what they are, so instead of these weird letters, let's call them A, B, C, D. That might make it easier to understand. So I've got 4 mystery numbers, I don't know what they are, so I've just called them letters, and then they added 8. Then it tells me it has a mean of 9.6. So how do you find the mean of something? You add them all up and then do what? You divide by how many numbers there are. So how many do I have? I've got 1 mystery number, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Cool. All right, and then it tells me that it's got a mean of 9.6. Great. So that's what I get when I divide these numbers by 5. But I don't want to divide them by 5. So what's the opposite of dividing by 5? Timesing. So if I times these two together, I'll do that done. 5 times 9.6 gives me 48. If you had a calculator, you'd be able to type it in, but I did it before and it's 48. So, what that means is all of these, when they're added up, everything up here, when they're added up, they add to 48. Following along so far? Yep. So let me rewrite that down here. So, when I add them all up, I get 48. But I want to find out what they added to before 8 was added. So what should I do to get rid of 8? I'm going to take 8 away. So I'm going to minus 8 from here, and I'm going to minus 8 from here. So that crosses that off. And what that means is now I'm left with A plus B plus C plus D are equal to 48 minus 8, which is 40. So that means the mystery numbers, when I add them up, I get 40. Yeah? So how do I find the mean of something?
Adding them and then dividing it by how many.
Great. So they've been added. That's 40. So now what do? I divide by how many there are. How many mystery numbers are there? So how many 4s go into 40? Great.